Hey, everyone. Unmute yourself. Hey,
Hey everybody,
you sound kind of low there, sir.
how about now?
Okay, sounds a little
Okay.
better.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, what's up, Chocolate Bay? With Sean. They call you Chocolate Bay. That's crazy. What's going on? Give me 1 second while I get my little stories together for a second.
Sure.
Trying to see if the intro worked, so my apologies if it took so long. I was fidgeting with it. Hey, YBS Mary, how you doing? Patty Duke, Buttercup, thank you for stopping through. Simply be yourself. How you doing? How you doing? And welcome to another session of Politics and Wellness.
Yes.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Captivating Christian, for those who don't know. And welcome to everybody to Cap Hill. And over here is, I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm Mr. Credentialed, everybody, and welcome.
Sorry, I had to wet the whistle a little bit. Okay. So I don't know, I'm hearing a little crackle. I don't know if it's mine or yours, but I'll just turn it down. So hey, everybody. I would like to first talk about some politics that's been going on. As far as today, uh, one thing that is important, the Congress is definitely going to meet. All the Democrats will meet to discuss whether they want to send the articles of impeachment over to the Senate. They will vote on that today. Likely that with some kind of stipulations, it'll probably go through, and it will be in the hands of the Senate, and it'll be up to the Senate to move it forward and start the impeachment trial for President Donald Trump. However, I do believe the Senate, Mitch McConnell does not have the votes right now to just basically acquit the president and not even have a trial. There are a few senators who are kind of, weighing their options. Excuse me,
Hmm.
for um, for their own reasons and their own reelection reasons. It's five of them. There's Mitch McConnell. I mean, Mitch McConnell. There's Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, the woman from Alaska. I can't think of her name right now. It escapes me. And there's a gentleman from Wyoming, I believe.
Okay.
So Susan Collins, I mean, she always plays like she may not side, wind up siding with the Democrats and may flip, but she usually, always votes Republican.
Hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to watch tomorrow to see what happens. Other
Yeah.
than that, uh, going on in the political world, I mean, nothing really crazy. Everything like what I talked about this morning. They have the gas company that was at the center of the impeachment hearing. That actually, the Russians hacked it. So they've been hacking this whole time, kind of to cover up Donald Trump's steps. If he could not, since he can't seem to get it right himself, the Russians hacked into the server of the gas company where Hunter Biden worked,
Mm.
basically probably to try and erase whatever documents or whatever they had.
Of course.
And so they got busted. But of course, yeah, Susan Mikowski. Thank you, Chocolate Bay. That is her name, Susan Mikowski. Yeah, so the Russians got caught. Of course, nobody's talking about it because, well, the Russians don't hack. The Russians didn't hack the election. They didn't hack nothing. Even Hillary Clinton came out and said, uh, it seems to be obvious that they must have hacked the 2016 election because they are hacking now to make sure that this president gets elected. But of course, you know, he's not going to pay attention to that because it benefits him. So
Right,
he's not worried
right,
about that.
right.
Which is the sad part. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome,
everybody.
welcome. Hey, Mimi126. Thank you guys for stopping by, stopping through.
Yeah, Antoinette Herrera, hello. Daniel Johnson, hey, how you doing? YBS Mary, hey, thanks for coming through.
Yeah, this thing kind of runs slow, so
Yeah,
sometimes I don't catch everybody. But yeah, so that's where we are with that. So far, everybody's gearing up for what may happen this week if the impeachment articles do go through. We shall have a trial beginning next week.
yeah.
Now, what that trial will look like, who knows?
That would be interesting.
Well, I'm hoping some more stuff is kind of just thrown out there, where in which we'd be like, oh, didn't know that. There's something that came out last night, though. Forgot what it was, and I meant to write it down. It'll come to me.
Okay.
But something developed last night that not even the Senate Intel knew about, and they were like, well, why didn't we know? And the New York Times actually displayed it, and it was like, oh, like, but I don't get it at all. It's like this would never happen with any other president, so I don't know why he gets a pass. But then again, I do.
Right.
His picks for the Supreme Court, which brings me to this point. They will be arguing over birth control and over employers being able to not, for religious reasons or moral reasons, supply their workers with birth control in their healthcare packets. So for a lot of companies that do healthcare packets that cover a broad array of things, companies, if this goes through, companies will be able to pick and choose what healthcare things they want to use, and then say, oh, well, it's against my religion or it's against our company's values.
Right.
So we're not going to cover X, Y, Z. And this can cover an array of things. We're not just talking about pills and, having birth control pills and being able to get condoms off your Flex card. This can probably range anywhere from if you're, getting medicine for a particular something, they could probably deny that too because it doesn't fall in their moral bracket. So it's really important to pay attention because as much as we sleeping and talking about when Donald Trump says a curse word or something crazy, they are still steamrolling a lot of these things under our noses, and he's putting them in the courts. The problem is he's not even taking them to the people. He's putting them in the federal courts, and these federal judges are saying, yay and nay to whatever he's demanding. He's not even, it's not even going to the people for public opinion first. It's going straight. So the problem with this is that he just filled the Supreme Court with 2 judges for his side. So this could, this could be a game changer for everything, from abortion to everything. So please stay on the lookout for that. When I find out exactly when it's supposed to happen, I will let you guys know. But like I said, there's a lot going on that's really to keep your eye open to.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll let you go. I'll talked enough for right now.
All right, everybody. This kind of coincides with what Kat was just talking about, which is regarding mindfulness and being intentional. So people don't often see how often mental wellness plays into your everyday life. So when you go out to vote and you're selecting the people, have a mindset to be mindful with the intention to make a change. So all these things make a difference, like abortion. All that stuff is going to play on your mental health if unfortunately you become pregnant and you're unable to abort, but you can't afford it. Imagine what that's going to do to you, how that's going to make you feel. Somebody taking away your choice, your right to make a difference. And again, mental health plays into everything that we do in our sex lives, in our personal lives, in our professional lives. It makes a difference with everything that we do. So again, be intentional with everything that you do, with everybody that you meet, everything that you say, your conversations, the way that you deal with people, be intentional. Because the lack of intention means that you don't know what you mean when you are dealing with someone. How if you're not saying something to someone intentionally with the intent to mean it and carry it out, what are you saying?
Right.
So again, with everything that you do, I can't stress that enough, is to just be intentional. And aside from that, I want to also talk about consideration for others and spinning narratives. So
Before
with
you get to that, though,
sure,
can you put a pin in that? Before you get
sure.
to that, I do want to add this because you was talking about abortion and all that kind of stuff. So I
Okay.
just want to make clear that in the political realm, there is Texas does have a law with abortions that an abortion has to be done by a doctor who is affiliated with an actual hospital.
Not
And
a
most
clinic.
doctors who do abortions are affiliated with clinics, and
Right.
the clinics and the hospitals are far apart from each other, um, to limit the people being able to have abortions.
Right.
So, if they don't do away with Roe versus Wade, that is something that they may possibly look into. They may wind up kind of breaking down that law and making it so you would have to go all the way cross country to this one particular doctor who is totally affiliated and connected to this one hospital that's umpteen, because it has to be a certain amount of mileage too.
Right.
Certain amount of miles to the hospital, excuse me. And then it's just really crazy. And then
Yeah.
that's the only way you could have an abortion. So I was just
Yeah.
wanted to throw that out there before you move forward. But
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's good information. Thank you for expanding. I'm looking into the chat, looking at Antoinette Herrera. She said, "What do I think about think how do I think this affects mental health programs?" To be honest with you, I question how many mental health programs that there actually are, because I don't see a lot of community, and someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but at least in my community, I don't see a lot of mental wellness programs. It's just like, oh, go to your PCP, let them give you some medicine. They don't really want to enrich the thought and of you being mentally well. They want to suppress it and cover it up with the idea of medication. So how I think it'll affect mental health programs, I hope that it brings awareness for the need of mental health programs, because there aren't enough. And that's why I'm getting into what I'm doing, because I want to start something free and start even get as far as to start a foundation for mental health programs and be a mental health program.
mm, well, that's let me see if I can get one to these other questions.
Okay.
Yeah, they cannot get licensed. Yeah, many doctors who participate in abortions now in Texas cannot get licensed to work in an actual hospital.
Right.
So they're finding all kinds of ways and loopholes to work
Mm-hmm.
around it to while it still exists right now.
Right.
I'm a pro-choicer myself. I think we don't have, as men,
Right.
I don't feel we have the right to tell any woman what to do with their bodies and all of that nature. Now, I mean, I do have a little bit of issue with some women don't at least let the father of the child know, hey, uh, this is what's going on. This is what I plan to do.
Right.
And let them have their say.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but it's just a slow
Mm.
thing.
I want to touch on that a little bit more. I am also pro-choice. However, I'm against people using the right of pro-choice as a sport. So if someone is, while it's your choice to do what you want to do with your body, but if you notice a habit where you've had more than a certain amount of abortions, shouldn't it be also your choice to stop yourself from going through that process of abortion? So if you're pro-choice, you should be pro-choice, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, or if you feel differently, please let me know. I think in being pro-choice, you need to be also proactive in your choice.
Proactive in your choice, but what you
Like, meaning, okay, so if you are pro-choice,
mean?
you shouldn't be getting umpteen abortions. So being proactive in your choice that prevents you from getting into that predicament. And again, I'm not telling someone what's right and wrong. This is just me voicing
I know.
opinion.
I know,
You
but
know,
we about to get into that place where we go back and forth. Um, I mean, I get it. But
that's
we,
why.
but right, that's why we friends.
Yeah.
But but I don't know if necessarily that would be because there's different stipulations to why in which women, choose to have them.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so in some
Right.
cases, yeah, I could agree with that. But in other cases, it all
Yeah.
depends. But
Yeah.
it's all about like Chocolate Bay just said that I'm reading. What about the men impregnating women with several children and without no accountability? Right.
Yeah.
Um,
They're not excused from
that's
it
a
all.
problem. That's a problem across the board as well.
Right.
And there's no repercussion. I mean, there's nothing unless the actual father is placed on the birth certificate of some sort. There's no way that anybody can track him down to have him be responsible.
Right. Right.
So I think if we're looking into those kind of rights, I think there should be some accountability held to the man. The woman doesn't make the baby alone.
Right. Right.
So there should be more accountability held
Right.
to the man as well.
Yeah, Cristobal and Chocolate Bay said don't use it as a sport, and that's the point that I'm trying to drive home. Do what is your body, do what you want. I'm pro-choice, pro-do whatever you feel, but in doing what you feel, make sure that you're not abusing the privilege because ultimately, it everything comes with a cost. That's all I'm saying. That's really what I'm trying to drive home. Not telling anybody what to do because I was raised to respect women in that regard. So respecting your body and respecting you as a person is important. But
Yeah.
having said that, please just, try to think about future and think about recourse for your actions. That's all I really want. I just want people to really consider that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is unfortunate that accountability only falls on the woman. And
Yeah,
and if it wasn't for um a lot of strong women and men who raise the kids by themselves,
right.
um I mean a lot of us would be far worse off. Um,
You are not two of them, that's for sure.
right. But yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Why sh- why should black women not be responsible for not being prepared? Why is so black women not responsible for not being prepared?
So why should black women not be responsible for not being prepared? Well, Jackie,
I'll let you answer that.
it's not that they should not be responsible. It's just it takes two to tango. So if you forget, then I need to be your backup, and I need to be able to say you forgot, I got you, not just you forgot, I forgot. Let's go. It's That's where we start to lose responsibility. So one hand should be rubbing the other, like you want one body part to rub the other in the bedroom.
You know what?
I, I I'm just saying. So the women
Mhm.
should be held responsible. The men should be held responsible because just like when you get a car and you turn the key, you're responsible when you get behind the wheel. So men
Right,
and women are responsible when they
right,
get into the bedroom for what happens. The
right.
outcome is yours. Whether you
That's
choose
true.
to protect yourself, pull out, whatever your choice, protect yourself because it's deeper than just getting pregnant. It's about catching diseases. It's about
Right,
being alive and being healthy for your family, for your kids that you already have.
right,
So it's about the whole picture. So accountability goes deeper than just who should have the protection. It's about we need to be protecting ourselves because we have a healthy life to live.
mm. Oops, sorry about that.
Exactly. Nayo Johnson is pretty much saying the same thing. It's not about just the baby and getting pregnant, it's about STDs.
Right, right. I mean, some people just think the only STD that exists is catching HIV or something.
Oh no,
Far more.
no. Sometimes that could be the least of your worries in some
Right.
scenarios. So
and everybody's not so trustworthy, so you
Yeah,
always have to be careful. Wrap it
exactly.
up.
Antoinette Herrera, I agree with you about bringing awareness to the younger generations, but they don't teach it. Like when I was in high school, they taught it. I had health. We talked about STDs. We talked about this, but so many parents now are kind of being like, I don't want. Why is this being talked about? Why are you talking to my kids about this stuff? But
Mhm.
they need to talk to somebody. Somebody needs to tell them less teenage pregnancies, less. Oh my gosh, there's so many things running rampant in the
Yeah,
school system.
yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, my mother didn't talk about it too much, but they talked about it in school, and you saw the pictures, and you was like, "I don't want my stuff looking like that." He was like, "Oh no, I'm good."
Right, right,
So,
right.
I didn't even
So
talk about. Go ahead.
yeah, my mother actually sat down in front of me with a cucumber and a condom and tried to go through the whole shebang. And I
Uh,
really wasn't here to look for, but I watched with one eye and covered the other eye, basically.
no, my brother was 6 years older, so he
Uh,
had already
yeah,
gave that lesson. Like, this is how you do it. And I was just like,
like,
okay,
well,
I
all
don't
right,
ever want to do
yeah,
that. Have you seen the pictures? But he
those
didn't.
pictures were
They were brutal. I was like,
very brutal.
I don't know what class you be in, brother, but I don't even want no parts.
None of it.
I'm saying, I was like, my stuff end up like that. I probably want to kill myself. So
Yes, yes.
it was needless to say, it was a very long time before I was like, okay, I'll do it. But
Yeah,
no,
unprotected sex was so not as common back then as it is now, and I'll tell you that for sure.
so the pull-out method left her a whole parent. That's because somebody wasn't strong in their pull-out method.
Right? The
My,
knees got weak.
right.
All right, so I want to use this as a segue into following the crowd and while having a personal identity. And should not following the crowd be offensive or not? Now, when following the crowd and going along with that, it kind of goes along with the sex because if your friends are having unprotected sex and catching STDs, do you want to get involved in that, or do you want to set the tone and say, you know what, I'm not going to get involved in having sex. I'm not going to get involved in catching STDs. I'm not going to be a teenage um, pregnancy statistic. Those
Mhm.
are the things just on that one subject that we get to choose every day. So
Right.
when you follow a crowd, how far are you willing to follow them before you create your own identity? Are you going to follow them down the toilet when you know what happens and with the toilet? You're going to go into a drain.
You sound like when my mom used to say, "If your friend's gonna jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off a bridge with him?" Yeah.
I'm just saying, having your own identity and you should never be afraid to be yourself, being around whoever you are. They
Right.
should accept you and respect you enough so that somebody says that apple juice, it looks like
That's
wine to me, chocolate bay. I don't know.
it's apple juice. It just happens to be in a wine glass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what he say, chocolate bay. We don't know. But
It's mixed with wine, I'll tell you that. But it's apple.
grapes on top of grapes, huh?
Huh?
Grapes on top of grapes, huh?
Yeah, it's fruit juice. That's it.
Mm, with alcohol content.
It's some dry rosé that I needed something to sweeten it up, so I was
Okay. Understood. Understood.
it was extra. But yeah,
Yep. Antoinette, I teach my children not to fit in, but to stand out, period. Exactly.
right.
Be-
Yeah.
Because your friends, if your friends don't get where they're trying to go, do you want to follow that? When you
Mhm.
graduate high school, when you get out into the world and you start doing things and trying to accomplish different things, some of my friends could really care less about their mental health, so they don't listen to me. But I'm still going to stand for it because I know how vital mental health is in the community,
Mhm.
period.
Right.
So,
It's
you
definitely
know,
something that we don't even talk about,
yeah, we don't.
let alone practice.
We
Um,
don't. Yeah.
so I think a small step, giant leap can always make a difference.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and with that, um,
I was looking at she said his sister said when I was growing up, my parents didn't discuss sex at all. And that happens in some
yeah,
households. It does. And it sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
right,
Curiosity can kill the cat,
yeah,
literally. So,
or burn it at least. Walk around smelling like a Chinese restaurant. What is burning?
But I think it's important to bring awareness to this kind of stuff, starting with your kids if you have them, all the way down to your grandkids, and just push it, because sometimes teenage pregnancy can be life-changing.
Yeah.
And it can affect the mental health.
One thing I will say for all those that are parents is a great thing to you be the teacher to your child. I know growing up, my mom never allowed for somebody else to tell me about something, even if she didn't like talking about it. She still had a moment where it was like, sit down, let's have this, let's have this moment. So it was never nothing where in which I went to a friend and was like, "Hey, you heard about this, or what do you know about this?" It's very important that we keep our children engaged and stay engaged with them. You don't have to be overprotective. Sometimes that could lead to a different path. Trust me, I know. I got a sister.
Yeah.
But
what are you talking about? Me too.
But be engaged with them. And you don't have to be their friend because that's not a thing, but definitely be somewhat of a confidant and someone that they can come to and talk to and stuff.
Yeah. Chocolate Berry, yes. Has anyone been to therapy? Yes. I believe in therapy. I go. I think it's necessary. You learn a lot about yourself and you actually teach them something about you. Everything that you give them from your life helps them to help someone else's life better because they have a better understanding and a better viewpoint. So I believe that therapy is not only something where you receive, but you're also giving back.
Yeah.
You're teaching.
That is very true. When I did my therapy sessions, I was a bit, a little on the fence about it, just because for me it's a visual thing at first. So I figured, hey, you don't know nothing about my life or nothing about what it's like to be me, a black man. So we kind of taught each other some things. I'll say that.
Yeah.
She was definitely very much like, "Oh, okay." You should at first when you walked in here, I thought you was gonna start chanting, and because I had all my beads on and stuff. And she was like, "You just seem so peaceful." So I thought we was just gonna start like meditating and and doing all this. And I'm looking at her like, "Lady, right? It's not that serious."
Yeah.
But it was definitely very cool. And I definitely support going out. I mean, even if it's just once, just to get a feel of it.
Right.
Because the more you start talking, the more you realize, hey, I got a lot of stuff kind of built up, or a lot of stuff you just put to the side. Not necessarily that it affected you or affects you in your daily life, because maybe you've pressed past it, but it's still sitting there. It's still on the shelf somewhere.
Right.
So it's always good to, kind of clear out, like you do a spring cleaning or fall cleaning or whatever you do during the seasons. It's the same thing. Like, it's time to get some of that stuff out. Maybe something that you didn't say that you needed to say. It's just, and it's an unbiased opinion or just an unbiased view of you. Somebody that doesn't know you, doesn't know anything about you. Mostly our friends, we love them to death, but they sugarcoat things sometimes and be like, well, you're a nice person. And I don't see that instead of like that hardcore. And some of us, we do have those hardcore friends that be like, oh, you're an asshole. I mean, it's like sometimes maybe, but
we need a combination of them all. They make us whole.
Right.
But Antoinette said therapy is healing, period. And yes, it is. And the only problem with it is that a lot of people can't afford it, whether it's the coverage levels or whether it's the copay. And people like, I'm not going to spend my money on that. I got family to feed. So that's one of my main reasons for why I'm going to start this support group here in Maryland, because I want it to be something free where people don't have to choose between mental wellness and whether they are going to eat or have gas for work. It's just free. As long as you can get here, I'm going to give you everything that I have to give you to help you to be better.
Well, I would say to check. I would say check sometimes your local community centers, because I know one here, they have a session, but it's almost like a group thing.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a start.
Right.
So you never know. I would check your local centers, your local YMCA's, community centers of some sort,
Right.
and check and see. Like I said, they may be a group session, or it may be something where it's 15, 20 minutes and
Right.
only one day out the week, or 2 days out the month, or however it may go.
Right.
But it may be something that's helpful and a good start
Right.
for those of you
And
who have it.
to piggyback on that, a lot of people are unaware that their employers have a program within the company that is either on the phone or you can actually go in person and actually speak. It's normally called like employee EAP, employee something assistance
Yeah,
program.
right.
Emotional, it can range with the acronyms that it's called, but check into your jobs. Check into your insurance companies that you may have with your jobs because you will be surprised that they actually have people to help you through. And you can go and talk about those managers that are not doing you right and treating you right. And you can also create a log that it will protect you or help to protect your job. So should you need to fight against them and what they've done. So
Yeah.
think about those things as well because they're definitely resources that are not free because you're paying for them by either working for the company or paying your insurance deductible.
EAP is
EAP. Okay.
what they said. But yeah, and they also deal, or EAU, and they also deal with grief too, grief as well. So when you're
Right.
having, issues with a lost family member of some sort, you can pick up that phone through your employer and seek some grief counseling as well. So yeah, I think that's important.
Right. Just catching up on some of the comments, even meet up and have group chats for free.
Oh, sure.
Knowing that helps you. Um oh, Chocolate Bay made a good comment. They even have online things that you can do and get help. So that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Sometimes you gotta exercise Google. We don't know everything,
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
we
mean, they
learn
do
by
have this app now where you can text a counselor,
oh really?
like some kind of random. I think it's like $50 or so,
Wow.
um,
Okay.
and you text a counselor, and then they text you back. I guess you text them your problems, like I guess I'm feeling sad or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Hey Tenary K.
believe
Welcome.
in therapy, but prefer religion and prayer. Okay. Now see that's the problem because my mom was that way. She was not going to go sit and talk to no counselor. She'd rather talk to her bishop or what have you.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I see that, but um, how can I? Not all of them. I'll say that. Not every pastor or bishop or leader of a church uh, has a degree in psychology where they can really get down to exactly what it is you're feeling. Um, Spiritual leader usually, guides through the Bible and examples, and kind of, shows you how to kind of live the same thing they do on the pulpit, just in a
Right.
more personal
Person. Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that in lies the difference. And I wish that a lot of churches, especially churches in our community, would promote their parishioners going to actual counselors to receive professional help. Uh, because, and this is sad to say, but it's so true. Many people will be dealing with an illness and sit on it for so long, thinking, "Oh, God's gonna heal me if I just go to church and pay my tithes and do this. God said He gonna heal me. He gonna heal me," and that's great to have that attitude.
Right.
But my problem with that is, why do you think, or why is it that God placed these people here? Why do we have doctors if that's the case?
Right.
There's medicine here.
Right.
Your job is to go through whatever you need to go through and trust and believe that God will bring you out of it on
Mhm.
the other side well and whole. So if that
Mhm.
means you got to go to 2 and 3 surgeries, pray about it, believe that in God's hands, and just do what you need to do. People actually sit back. Hey, you doing, Jay Wilson? People actually sit back and actually wait and like, oh, I'm gonna just wait for God. And it's just like, but God is showing up in this procedure. God may be showing
Yep.
up through this doctor. God may
Yep.
be showing up in so many other ways that you totally ignore
Yep.
because you waiting for what, the white horse to come down. And
Yep.
I just some of that I just don't I don't
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
Either I don't believe in pray and sit and wait. I believe in pray and move.
Yeah,
Make
it's
a move.
like work without actions is dead. Like if you don't actually do the work, it's not gonna work. Like, you gotta actually do the work. You gotta go through the treatment. You gotta, try the drug.
Right.
You may not like it, and if it don't agree with you, okay, this keeps me up all night, or this makes my heart palpitate. We need to try something else, but never just give up on that. Just thinking, oh, I'm just waiting for the Lord. Like, no, I don't think that's a good mindset.
Yeah, me either. I think I saw Jay Wilson come through. Hey,
Yeah,
Jay
he
Wilson,
did.
how are you?
So yeah, I definitely don't agree with that. But with that said, did you have anything else?
Um, not really.
Well, there was this two stories. Two stories. Actually, I did them earlier in my news thing. I thought they were a bit different. So in entertainment news, this is not really a political thing, but I guess we can tie some wellness in here.
Okay.
So first one, Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's stepdaughter, could possibly be facing jail time for a hit and run. 2 misdemeanor charges, actually. But the part that got me, that I had to read it like really slow twice because it said she did a hit and run. And I'm like, okay, so you hit the car and you kept moving. Then as you read the story on, it was like, no, the car was flipped over on its side next to the parked car she hit. And I'm like, damn, you.
Did she catch the break?
I don't know. They don't have no details. I'm like, I don't know how that happened. Like, were you flying? Like, to me, I think she was drunk and flying.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Jess. I definitely think, personally, think they should separate church and professional counseling. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Good point. Because the lines do get crossed based upon what they say, that whatever your religious background wants you to do and what is best for your mental health, because the church can also be a place where you
Where you getting the worst,
and
where
you
you
can
getting
either
most of
need
your
to go to
problems.
therapy after church. So
Right.
the church is not exempt. I wish that it was.
Yeah. No. So anyway, yeah. So the car was flipped
Wow.
on its side, and I was like, "Said what now? Flipped on its side? That's like worse than a hit and run, though. That's like, I guess she was drunk or what have you." And so that's her dilemma. Actually, her case starts, what, the 20 something? I think the 21st or something like that. It's soon. It's coming up.
Okay. Okay. Jay Wilson said, asked if I'm a Hebrew or Israelite. No, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. No, Jay Wilson, I'm not.
Silly. So yeah, that, and of course she is beautiful. But yeah, she's dating Future though. I just hope she don't end up like a Sierra kind of situation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you know the track record, it's like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it.
Doesn't look like a lot of people in the future.
Right. They should be holding up that's one they should have in the textbook now. Like, you don't want to end up with him. And like, how many baby fathers do you have?
Right.
How many
Right.
baby mamas do you have? Like,
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Not Amish.
Hold on. All right, Antoinette, have a good one. Thank you for coming through. No, no, I'm not Amish. No, they have good food, but I'm not Amish though. Ain't no nonsense. It's doing a little something, something. Flourishing, if you will, want to call it that. It's doing a little something, but I thank you for the
He
record.
hides his keys in that, It's like a little man purse.
You know what? No. I'm about to go and cut it off now.
But yeah, so that was one of the stories. And the other story, which I thought was interesting to bring to the group, is Will Smith said on the Breakfast Club that he was insecure, very insecure of
Really?
Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship with Tupac.
I heard that before.
Yeah, well, he said that recently when they were promoting Bad Boys for Life, the new Bad Boys series movie about to come out, if it hasn't already. I don't know, I'm not sure.
I don't think it. I think it's coming out, but it's not come out yet.
Yeah. So yeah, they Jada Pinkett and Tupac Shakur went to the Baltimore School of the Arts.
Okay.
They graduated there together. That's where they became friends. And then once they, got in the industry, he went into rap and she into acting. They actually, I think he was filming Juice and she some film, but they happened to meet up again there. And, the friendship kind of still remained intact. Then later on, she was doing A Different World. Will Smith was doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They dated then because actually she was supposed to play Will Smith's actual girlfriend on the show, but she didn't get the part. So she wound up going to A Different World. He wind up still doing the Fresh Prince, and that's how they wind up getting involved and started dating.
Yeah.
So he said he regrets not getting to know Tupac like that. Like, they just knew of each other. It was like, I'm not speaking to you. You're not going to speak to me. I guess maybe they gave each other the head nod and that was just about it.
Right.
But my question would be to the chat. Do you think, is it okay for men and women to have friendships while in relationships? And do you think that could cause a conflict with the partner?
I'm going to wait for somebody to respond in the chat. For now, I'm going to say, no, I'm not from West Philly. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, Jay Wilson. But yeah, I do see a lot of people in Philly doing it. It's just, to be honest with you,
That's
it's easier to keep it. Yeah, it's easier to keep it. And now that it's accepted in the workplace, I can do it, and it's not really a big deal. So that's why I keep it. So I'm not gonna cut it. But thank y'all for all the compliments and everything. Now since nobody has come on out and said anything yet, I'm gonna go ahead and say it that I do think it is okay for men, or let's put it this way, for people to have friends of the opposite sex when they're in a relationship. The only reason why I say that is because I have done it. I don't have a problem with it. It's like, if I trust you,
Right.
I can't control you.
Right.
And if you're going, whatever you're going to do, you're going to do it whether I know about it, whether I see it, whether it's behind my back. So me trying to stop that is just trying to stop life from happening. So you can't allow, again, mental health. You can't allow your insecurities about what happened to you before, about how good somebody else looks,
Right.
stop you, because we, most of the time when a guy's into you, he doesn't see. He may see them, but he doesn't see it for all of those people that he's walking past. He sees it for you. That's why he's with you.
Yeah, but they might have been really close. Some people are a bit taken back if two people are really, really close. They're always thinking, well, did they do something? Are they about to do something? Because they're too.
That shouldn't matter, though.
No, it shouldn't. But for some people, when you're used to that, it always brings that thought.
Right. Right. But again, that's why you need to be strong in who you are and what you possess, so that when you bring it to the table, you don't have to worry if somebody's going to come and get it or not. You know they are. You know that you don't have to be cocky to be confident, and just be sure in who you are and what you bring to the table.
No, no nonsense. I agree. I don't think she can act that well, but she's definitely great behind the camera. Like her directing is great. I like her directing more than I like her acting. Yeah, but she can do comedy. Okay,
Yeah,
she just can't be too serious.
yeah. And Jay Wilson said, if your friend was once a friend, then maybe not. Yeah, because everyone is not going to be honest about what's going on between themselves and somebody else. And if they still getting those little texts and those little nudes and everything like that on the low, it's touchy with that one. But you really got to know your people if you are going to allow them to have friends who were once friends.
Right. And yes, no nonsense it is, but it's quite dry. I don't know if there's a difference, but this one's quite dry. I had to put something else in it because it was too dry.
Sometimes the rosé can be sweet though.
Yeah, no, sometimes they can, but this one was extremely
Yeah.
can be difficult to be friends, but you have to have friends of the opposite sex. Either you have to trust me or you don't. I don't cheat. I'm upfront and willing to tell you that. Yeah, no, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I mean, it all depends on the people. You
Yeah.
gotta just be upfront and be honest.
Yeah.
You know,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
If you want your relationship to grow and to flourish into something further than where you are right now, then you have to open doors and allow people to live their lives outside of you and what your rules are. If your rules don't allow room for flexibility, how are you going to grow? How
Right,
are they going to grow?
right. And I would never exactly, like you say, Jay Wilson, I never want my partner to feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Like, at any point, I want you to always be yourself, be comfortable. There'll be no reason for anybody to feel any type of way.
Right.
So yeah, definitely.
No, just don't go in the bushes. You're not being personally attacked. Come on, stay down here
Oh
and
no,
play.
not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just no, not here.
Because no, not at all. If it's something that just be open and honest. We're just trying to help people. You know what I mean. So if it's touching on some old sore spots, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Hey James Boss, how you doing? So yeah, from there, I think there was this one uh, court case out of Mississippi. This young man had, and I'm paraphrasing because I read it briefly.
Mhm.
This young man had went to jail, and he was, I guess, in the whole, where they frisk him, phrase, and do all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they missed his phone. So he's had this phone for as long as he's been there, and he was there for just like a misdemeanor, nothing like serious.
Right.
Well, I guess. So he's in there, and he asked the one of the guards for a charger for his phone.
Hmm. I saw that. I saw.
Yeah. So they tried to give him 12 years. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Leave me alone. Sorry about that. Like people always do that. I'm live. I'm live. Don't do that. So he's in there for misdemeanor. He has a phone. He's not supposed to have one. I don't know if he knew or if anybody told him, hey, you're not supposed to have a phone, but he has one.
Hmm.
So he has it for a while. It starts to go dead. So he decides, oh, I'm just going to go and ask the guard for a charger. Can I borrow your charger to charge my phone? Bad move. So they confiscate the charger, the phone from him.
Right.
And then they try to he had to go back to court and do all that because that's a violation of, I guess, the code of the prison or whatever. But the judge tried to give him 12 years.
Huh?
Yeah.
I heard about the case. I heard the general, but I did not know 12 years was behind that. Wow.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
So you want to give
I just
12 years. And what did they give
I
Andrew
mean it's
Kanye?
Mississippi. And then they tried to appeal it, and so far the judge is upholding the 12 years. So one judge is upholding it. So they tried to appeal it and they got denied. I don't even know what the I'll go back and fully read the article, but it just caught my eye and I was like, what in the what? Now I'm thinking
Anything
off
that
the top of my head that his his minor thing might have been some marijuana or something on him, something small but enough to and this was just like, oh, let's just tack on the I have no idea, but Mississippi, in the words of Nina Simone, Mississippi, goddamn. I'm just that's just it's I mean, that's a song. That's an actual song. I'm not even making it up. It's Nina Simone's song called Mississippi Goddamn. It's a screenplay, but she hasn't written uh, the play yet. So she said, I love her. God bless her. So, but yeah, I just feel like that's a bit much. I think a lot of these Rockefeller drug laws and things need to really be re-examined because they do more damage to us than they do good. But now with this opioid crisis, because everybody like this is so strung out on drugs, uh, when they've been coming, but when they've been coming to our areas to get them the whole time, but now all of a sudden they're so strung out. But whatever.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Whole nother time, a whole nother topic, right?
Yes, I'm not even going to go there because that can be a sensitive thing, and we don't know who's struggling with addiction that is amongst us right now. So I don't want to condemn anybody. So I'm gonna leave that
Yeah,
alone.
no, I'm not condemning anybody.
But yeah, I'm just saying, I don't want to. That's just a rough one. We just gonna we
Yeah.
gonna move. We gonna
Save
move.
that one for next time,
But
maybe.
yeah, maybe. But what I will say is that we also have to be cognizant of the fact that um addiction is considered a mental illness
Yes.
because it's just something that's bigger than you, something that's beyond your control, and it keeps you at a capacity where you cannot function, and you're constantly chasing that. So for that reason, I do want to be mindful of that, and
Yeah.
when having the heart of dealing with people who suffer from addictions, that's not right. They do mean stuff, but you have to also realize that they are high out of their minds. They do
Mhm.
not know, and if they did, they probably wouldn't. But the person that you see that's an addict is not the person that who they are or would be in real life. The addiction controls their life every step of
Yes.
the way.
Very true. Very true. And that's why we need more uh, mental health facilities that actually deal with that, and not
Yeah,
just ones that get government and state funds just to
yeah,
hold you for a couple of weeks
yeah,
or a month and then let you go into the same area where in which you started getting on the drugs in the first place.
yeah,
I think it does the person who's an addict a disservice that they remove them from the program and put them right back in the same area in which they developed the habit in the first place, and don't give them any way to remove themselves from that situation. I think that's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
very sad.
It's sad. I think that there is just like there's money in healthcare, there's money in keeping people addicted to drugs.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
everybody they get money from somewhere. Everybody's got their hand out to oh, I'll do that. And while they're doing it, they're robbing you blind at the same time, not really doing much for you.
yeah, yeah. It's really sad, a lot of people continue to be addicted to drugs is because they don't feel like they have any other option. You know,
Right.
they don't know better. They don't know anything other than what they're dealing with. Having a parent who actually struggled with addiction for his entire life and actually died as a result of addiction. He
Mm.
he two total different people. He was night and day when he was himself, and when
Mhm.
he wasn't just a regular old guy. He was a minister.
Right.
So addiction runs in all levels of life. Nobody is touched when it comes to addiction. It's a really, really bad thing and a really dark place to live.
Yeah. Yeah. And it deals with a lot of issues, family secrets, other things
Mm-hmm.
that have been suppressed for so long, and the drugs sometimes, and even the alcohol, is just another way to suppress it. So yeah, I
Exactly.
think it's definitely.
It's like Tylenol for them. It cures the pain.
Mm-hmm.
It brainwashes them, and sometimes they'll do things to you. And when they wake up from the binge, they won't even remember. They can't understand why you're upset with them because they haven't done anything in their head.
Right.
It's a monster. It really is a monster. So I want to say shout out to everyone who's dealing with someone in their family who suffers from addiction, and I hope that one day they can say that I'm in recovery.
Yeah. And truly be recovered. It's a practice every day. It's not just one day you wake up and it's like, oh, I'm recovered. It's a struggle every day.
Right, right. It's a constant struggle. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a struggle that we don't understand if you don't suffer from it. You can get addicted to Tylenol.
Yeah.
It can happen. You know,
Yeah.
it it's addiction exists on so many different levels. So it's highs and lows, highs and lows.
Mm.
Thank you for that suggestion,
Oh,
Jess. That would be an
just.
awesome
Oh,
thing to
thank
do.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
that, Jay Wilson. Thank you. I believe it. I didn't realize how many people was in the chat. I'm just
you.
enjoying the company that we have. So the more the merrier. Everyone's welcome, but I'm just enjoying the people that we have.
All right. Very true. Oh, is she? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. You got anything else specific?
No, that was pretty much it for me on this.
Yeah, I think that is pretty much it for me as
I
well.
was told, actually, just want to heads up, via MSNBC, that the Senate impeachment trial portion of the impeachment process will start on Tuesday.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Very, very
Yeah.
interesting.
I'll keep you all posted upon that and see who does what
Yeah.
and who votes for what, and we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll be back again next Tuesday and every Tuesday as I'm sorry. We'll be back and looking forward to just continuing to expand upon the things that we need to discuss and beginning to help people to be educated about politics so they can take action and educated about mental health as well as much as we can do in the time that we have, just to try to get an overall sense of wellness. And it's nothing like being secure and having the tools that you need in order to take the actions that you need, and it'll help you to be a better person by
Yeah,
doing.
most definitely. Like I always say, you got to be the change that you want to see. So definitely, if you want to see change, you have to be that change. It starts with you. And it goes for everything. That even goes in this sector. When people go, "Oh, this sector is horrible." No, it's a lot of talented, great people, with a lot of great talents, and if they just focus them talents on something else,
Mm-hmm.
um, they could really go a lot further than they are.
Agree.
So I think it's very important that we usher in a different atmosphere coming into 2020. Um, you know, the laughs, the jokes, all that's it's good, and in good time, it's fun.
Right.
But it shouldn't be all the time. It's not, and it gets to a point where some of this stuff is so low that it takes it to a whole different place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It comes to
so
a point where laughing and joking becomes a cost, and you
yeah,
don't want to pay the ultimate cost for the wrong thing.
yeah, like Michelle Obama would say, when they go low, we go high, and then some people go, "Oh, well, I don't do that because they could hit me in my nuts." Well, I mean, be that as it may, I put on a cup. I mean, sometimes you just gotta rise above it. Sometimes, um, you just have to let it be. It doesn't make you weak.
Right.
My mama would always say, it's not what they say about you, but it's what you answer to that makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to make sure that I just stay level headed and just always understand that what I'm trying to do, although some may think this is phony, this is an act or whatever. No, this is really how I am
Right.
regularly and in person. Now, if you cross me, you might get a different little side, but for
Yeah.
the most part, you will get this person.
Yeah.
So I
It's a
try to make
product
sure
of
that,
being raised a certain way, and
yeah,
you become the person that you were designed to be based on how you were raised.
right. So I always try to make sure that I always represent myself well, because I'm not just representing myself. I represent God first, my family second. So I'm mindful of that, even in the moments where, yeah, God knows my heart, but I had to say it that way.
Right.
I
Right.
still am mindful that I don't go too far, that I stay focused.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have reached an hour mark with you guys.
It's been great, guys. Thank you
Will you
so much.
raise Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, will you raise your voice? Yeah, I mean, I will if I have to, but I don't
Right.
choose to.
Right.
Everybody in my house was loud. Growing up, everybody in my house was loud. If they wasn't yelling, like talking, yelling, they were like laughing loud. So
Right.
to me, that wasn't a thing. It was like, I don't want to sound like you guys.
Right.
But definitely thank you guys for coming out. Thank you to my mods. I definitely appreciate you all for
Yes, thank
all
you
what
so
you've
much.
done. Thank you for putting up with me. I was able to get the little intro. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you could see it. Yeah, you'll be waiting. It takes a lot to get me upset, actually, to be honest. But when I'm there, it's like, okay, he's not gonna calm down. So I try not to get there. Jay Wilson. So
I think he was talking about
on
he's
the
going
panel.
live. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. On the panel. Yeah, I know. I mean, I do. Sometimes I do. But I don't find it all that necessary sometimes. I've grown to like my voice. I mean, granted, people always used to be like, "Oh, you sound like." Okay, I mean, I was just born with a lighter, raspier voice. It don't make me any less of a man. I mean, I'm still all man.
Right.
But it's just my voice. But anyway, I
Thank
would
you,
like to say
California
thank
girl.
you so much for coming out.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you. I hope you can walk away with something enlightful, something very important. Well, actually, I kind of think my voice is kind of like the radio, like the late night quiet storm, to be like, hey,
Hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, how about we turn it down a notch? I mean, that's what I think when I think of my voice. But anyway, can I get to it? Thank you all for coming through. I greatly appreciate you guys. Means a great deal for you to come out. Even those in the
Yeah.
bushes up in the balcony of Capitol Hill. Thank
Still
you.
thank
Thank
you
you
anyway.
for coming out. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your participation in the chat. Definitely greatly appreciate it. I hope that you guys come through next week. Try to be the same bat time and definitely same bat channel. So look out for it. And of course, if you find anything that I may not see, you can always shoot me an email. My email should be in my about box, but excuse me, if not, it is ccnnetworktv@gmail.com. And I'll put it in the chat while Mr. Credential, you have anything closing to say?
I do. I'm going to put my email into the chat as well. But I want to say that I encourage everyone to come over to my channel and subscribe for the sake of me starting a support group this year. My hope is to get the support group started so I can go and try to help people again who need the help, who
Duh. I
huh?
messed it up. No, go ahead. I'm
Oh.
talking to myself.
who actually are not able to afford to get the help, and just to bring awareness and just to be able to come through and be a help to people with all the knowledge that I have. So please come over to the channel and subscribe so that when those things do happen, or when I decide to go live on my channel, because eventually Cap and I will fluctuate to my channel. So just thank you all for coming through. I appreciate the support, and I look forward to doing this with everyone in the future. And just thank you for interacting, and that's all. And I wish everyone a good night.
All right, and with that, good night, guys. I gotta walk the doggy so he don't get crazy. So, so good night. Love you guys. Thank you for stopping through. Have a great night. God bless.
God
Peace.
bless. See you.